Okay, so you're not feeling super peaceful and fulfilled in your daily life. People are getting on your nerves and you're feeling like a bundle of stress. Well, one of the things that is causing this is the way you are perceiving the people around you. Hi, my name's Shara Ogilvy. I'm a mental health counselor that's been working with clients for over 15 years, and I'm here on YouTube recording my favorite tips for over all of these years of working with clients to share with you. Now, today I want to talk about something that Martin Buber, a philosopher, called the I-thou versus the I-it stance. And it's really the difference in how we see each other as we're interacting with one another. If we want to feel fulfillment and connection with other people, it is imperative that we see other people as special, unique, divine creatures with potential that are worthy of our respect and our care. Now, if we see people in the opposite stance as objects that get in our way, as obstacles to the things that we want, as just something to move out of the way or check off a box, that is called the I-it stance. That's I'm I, and it is the person in my way. You're an object, move out of my way. The converse is the I-thou stance, and that is what Martin Buber, a philosopher, talks about. Seeing other people as thou, as a unique, beautiful creation of the divine that has so much potential and so much to give. Now, I have a story about when I really got this wrong. Years ago, I decided to cash in on a coupon for a stretch lab. It was a place where you could go get your body all stretched. They would check all of your range of motion. I thought, cool, I get to do this at like half price or something. I'm just going to see how my functionality is. I just want to get the assessment and get out of there. I don't want to sign up for any programs. I don't want any, conversation afterwards. I just want to get the service where I get a report back on my range of motion, and I want to leave. So I go in there, I have my little appointment. I'm interacting with the person who's helping me, and I get my printout with the range of motion for my different joints, and they start talking to me about signing up for some program. They're pointing to price lists and membership programs, and I just said, I'm not interested, and I walked out. Now, my husband, who was with me, when we went outside, he said his jaw was kind of on the ground. He was like, you were so rude. And I said, well, it's because I didn't want to interact. I was just there for the service and I wanted to get out of there. And he says, yeah, but this poor kid, I think you hurt his feelings. And I said, he's in a sales position. People in sales positions need to have thick skin. I don't have time to talk about this. I just wanted the coupon program and I wanted to leave. But in thinking about it since then, I've realized where I was at was in an I-it stance. I was looking at this human being as an obstacle, someone in my way, someone who was going to take up my time and make my day harder. And so as an obstacle, I checked him off my list and moved him out of my way. That prevented me from having a genuine human-to-human interaction that would have just cost me a few more minutes, maybe 2 or 3 minutes, to listen patiently to what he was saying for a brief period. Not the whole time. I don't have to sell the farm here, folks. But I could listen briefly and politely and just say, I really appreciate what you did. I'm grateful for your service. I'm really not looking for any memberships, though. And then if he continued, which salespeople will continue, then to just say, hey, I appreciate it. I'm going to save you the time, though. I will let you know if I want this, but I do need to go ahead and go. It would have only taken an extra minute or two. Now, how would that have impacted my mental health? I will say a few years ago when I had this interaction, I was not in the best place, I would say socially. I guess that's the best way of putting it. I wasn't really very connected with friends and people outside of work. I was very focused on work, I was very focused on tasks, and I was almost too focused on being efficient. The fallout from that was I felt isolated. And I was happy, I have a good life, but I felt isolated. And since then, I have really learned that if I don't want to feel isolated, if I want to have more fulfillment and more connection with people, I need to take the time to remember to pause, check myself at the door, and make sure I'm in the I-thou stance rather than the I-it stance. Again, I-it means I'm I and you are it. You have to move out of my way. The I thou stance is kind of like a namaste in yoga. The word namaste means I bow to the divine in you. I see you. I see your goodness. And that way of interacting with people brings us more fulfillment, more connection, and more joy. I highly recommend it. So next time you're interacting with a salesperson, with someone on your front porch, with someone at a cash register, with anyone that you could see as potentially an obstacle, just pause and take a breath. It's only going to take a few extra seconds to be kind, but not only just to be kind, but to reflect on how you're seeing that person in the moment. How are you experiencing them? Are you seeing them as a divine creature of light? Are you seeing them as an asset to humanity that has great things that you can't fully comprehend? You know, it's a respectful, I see you and I see that you are a human being, a person of light, instead of you're an obstacle moving out of my way. Just move out of my way. Take an extra minute to do that in the next few days and just notice the shift. Notice how you feel more grounded. Notice how you feel more self-respecting as you respect others. And notice how that affects your mental health, because we are all interconnected. As we show love and care to other people, as we pause and make sure that we're grounded and intentional and aware as we interact with others, we contribute to this ecosystem of love and light that we want to build if we want to be in our best mental health and also ignite the highest level of functioning in those around us. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't already, and I'd love to see you back for more videos in the future. We'll see you next time.